Brought to you by NordVPN.
Let's observe.
Oh. It's you.
It do be me.
You've completed the crash course on theatre and wine, have you?
No.
Feeling smug, are we?
Maybe.
Deserving of love, perhaps? Worthy
Always.
of eye contact?
Yes.
That's cute. But there's still a lot more work to be done. Look here. These shoes are made from real Italian leather.
Wow, fancy.
This bag is made from the leather of real Italians.
Oh.
Not impressed? How about this fur coat? It's made from the wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
An Xbox
It looks very
with
soft.
the original PT demo still installed.
Baby.
A signed first edition copy of Moby Dick with its little-known sequel, Moby Ball.
Oh man, I need that. I
And
don't
last
have, I
but
don't
not
have Moby
least,
Balls.
the squid.
I want to be the sole
from
owner of
Squid Game.
Moby Balls.
Don't you get it? Oddities. Weird stuff. I mean, the first section's on perfume. Listen, I'm going to level with you. I kind of got distracted, and we went off topic. I don't even know what this is about anymore. Here's my Netflix stand-up special. It should explain everything.
I've never gotten carried away once. Can't believe you would do that.
That's going to be a hard act to follow. That Kramer guy has some very good one-liners. But
Oh.
I've got some jokes lined up. Question.
Let's hear it.
Why is perfume so expensive? 'Cause you have to pay perfume.
Get tomatoes!
Why do they call it cologne? Have you ever smelt one of those? It ain't great.
Tomatoes! Tomatoes! We need to throw them.
Mic must not be working. Deodorant? In this market? I'd want a deodor buy.
Boo, you
Is this thing on? Okay, let me tell you the story of perfume. See, to be fancy, people wanted to stink good, but people naturally stink bad.
True.
It's science.
I wish
So
I
in the
stunk
beginning,
good.
people went to the garden to find the best-smelling things that they could. Here's a photo of the oldest perfume bottles ever found.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Thank you for understanding my SpongeBob references. I appreciate you, new chatter. Welcome in. These are 4,000-year-old bottles of perfume? What the hell? Did they just dump them on themselves, or...?
And what's inside? Just garden stuff that smells nice.
Makes sense.
But we did not just stop at that, because the story of perfume is the story of progress.
Oh.
By the time Cleopatra came around, perfume science had really advanced. You see, Cleopatra loved perfume. In fact, it was said that she had a whole perfume factory.
Really?
The olfactory, I believe they called it.
Oh, shut up.
But this factory
Stop
wasn't just
that.
mashing flowers. They were using emulsifiers, adding resins, creating tinctures. Cleopatra's very own Chanel No. 1 contained cardamom, cinnamon, olive oil, and myrrh.
That
So we've gone
sounds
from
like it would
garden
smell
to
good.
pantry. And she loved spritzing the stuff everywhere, supposedly even spraying it all over the sails of her ship. That way people could smell her from miles off as she sailed the Nile.
Guys, they didn't have Febreze yet, so perfume was, you know, Febreze was candles, was air fresheners, like, it was all one purpose. It's a
By the
power
early Middle
play.
Ages, we had figured out the formula for perfume. Effectively, there are three main components: water, alcohol, and the most important bit, the aromatic oils.
The
And by the
smell
way,
goods.
perfume and cologne are actually the same thing, but in different ratios of these ingredients.
Oh,
By the
okay.
1600s, they were trying all sorts of different things. Some things went well. Dude, pine. Pine.
Fine.
What about orange? I call it new car smell.
New car smell.
But once global trade opened
Whiff,
up,
whiff.
our tastes became more exotic.
Oh no.
Out of the pantry and into the petting zoo. For you see, it turns
Uh-oh.
out that animals have been hoarding all of the most bestest perfume
Oh
smells.
god.
Yes.
Aren't lots of makeups like made out of like have animal components. Like I think there's like animal fats and like lipstick or something. Don't quote me on that. Oh, is it animal fats and lipstick? I thought I might be right, but it's been a while.
In the olden days, a bunch of manly men would brave very rough seas in order to pull aboard sperm whales.
Oh
Now,
no.
they would cut open the digestive tract and pluck out a secretion of bile called
Are you kidding?
ambergris. Or in
So not only did we specifically go for the sperm whale, which is already sus enough in itself, then we had to go for bile of the sperm whale specifically. What do we call this? Like Satan's perfume? Satan's anus. Satan's anus perfume.
in English, grey amber. Sometimes they would harvest the rest of the whale, but eventually ambergris became so valuable
What the hell?
that it was simply more economical to dump the carcass back in the ocean and collect the next batch. Like
This
when you
was a valuable, esteemed item? It still is. Oh my god.
kill a racehorse for its prize-winning jizz and then just leave it there on the tracks. All right, quick science lesson, eggheads. Ambergris comes from the gross part of the whale. And when the whale eats something quite sharp, let's say human bones,
Oh.
the ambergris forms around them and protects the lining of the gut. That's the ambergris' role. That
Yeah.
way, as the sharp thing continues down the intestines, the whale doesn't get poked. But if ambergris comes from a whale's digestive tract, what does it smell like? Surely not good.
Yeah, that's what
When
I'm
it's dry,
saying.
it smells kind of woody and earthy. But when it's wet, it smells like ass.
I could guess so, since it comes out of the because it's bile, which is part of making. That's what it is.
But it's not actually the smell that's the useful function.
What? Okay, what
Ambergris
is it?
is a
then?
fixative.
Oh.
So what it does is heighten and bring out the scent of other things. These flowers, they smell all right, but add some ambergris and, that's the one. Now, once they figured this out,
So we just need sperm whale sprinkled on top, and then it'll smell real good. Who thought that this was a possibility? Like you know what? I don't want to know. You know what? It's fine if I go forever not knowing.
they realized, there's a whole bunch of things we can use a fixative for. And they got quite gross with it. They added it to food. In fact, it was said that King Charles's favorite dish was ambergris on eggs. But they didn't stop there. They added it to rum. They added it to coffee. They added it to cigarettes and smoked
still in
And
stuff?
they used it as an aphrodisiac.
What?
Now, some people will say that the whale is a mammal. But that's not strictly true. It is, in fact, a fish. Just look at the tail. And you may have also heard that there are a lot fewer of them these days, which, although a relief because their absence helps offset the sea level change, climate, whatever, we were worried that we might run out. So we said no more hunting whales for ambergris. But did that stop the perfumers?
No.
They immediately asked, hey, do you think there are any other animals that smell kind of weird?
Oh
Yes.
my god, no. They're gonna try to find the bile of other animals. Ah, yes. The best smell, flowers and whale butt. No. Probably the same guy who tried monkey poop coffee, maybe.
Turns out the musk deer has some potential. Now, we hunt the male musk deer specifically because it has a particular gland called a musk pod, which, when dried out, looks like this. And it uses it to mark its territory and attract mates. Now, don't worry.
Right.
Unlike ambergris, this
Okay.
doesn't smell like ass. Instead, it smells like ammonia and
Oh
piss.
god!
And you just can't get a smell like that.
I was
at home.
gonna say,
So we
they're
start-
basically like, oh. So it's like what they mark their territory with?
started hunting them to the point where they were a protected species. So the authorities said, you have to find a different animal.
Gross.
So from there, they moved on to
So they went from whale bile to deer piss, essentially. Oh.
Hyrax feces. One of the most feared and dangerous animals in all of Africa.
Why do you gotta take his poops? Leave his poops alone. Leave the little fluffy guy poops alone.
And it was the inspiration for the original lynx Africa smell. Now, their feces, when dried, is called hyraceum, or Africa stone.
So they went around smelling animals' poops in order to find this out, right? Somebody is a connoisseur of smelling poop.
But it's not just these ones, they have other stones in Africa. Come on, guys. Now, the smell is fairly similar to deer musk, but unlike the deer, the hyrax doesn't need to be killed or disturbed for their feces.
Okay, well that's...
They're just giving it away.
We just gotta make them poop a
hyrax
lot?
even have a communal toilet, which is used for generations, which makes it very easy to collect up all the good stuff.
So you just gotta follow them around and collect their poops? The fanged beaver?
Remember those civets from the virus videos? Wait, don't wash that thing's anus. Mom, get the bottle. Turns out it's the anal gland of the civet that's actually the important smelling bit.
How are people figuring this out? Why is this the... We have so many other things. We have flowers. We have plants. We have... Why?
Just figuring this out. Why don't they use the good parts of the animal? It's the bacon part of the pig, you know? Anyway, it's the ass that produces all the delicious musk.
It smells like shit.
Right, but it must be good for something because it goes for $4,000
What in
a
the
kilo.
world?
But we ain't done yet. You know when you've just killed a beaver and you cut open its ripe abdomen? Well, the reason it smells so good is because of a little gland called the castor sac, which makes a yellowy scum-like substance called castoreum, and it is used to waterproof the beaver's fur coat and also mark its territory.
Bro, he is using that. That is his bodily equipment used to survive. Stop f***ing with the beavers.
It is also very fragrant, and you know what that means. If it smells, it sells. And in this case, castoreum is more kind of leathery, with smoky hints of vanilla. But unfortunately today, you're not allowed to harvest the beaver. They're walking around very smugly, just like the other protected
Leave
animals.
the beavers
But you know
alone.
what? We don't need them, because we have a synthetic version of castoreum now, and it's just as good. And you know what? We've got a synthetic for the whale, the deer, and the civet now. And they're used in lots of mainstream perfumes. Modern day, we've got a synthetic version of practically everything. And even better, the advancement of synthetics has opened up a huge range of smells that were never possible to distill or capture before. And the result is some very silly perfumes. You know that bacon bit of the pig? We got that now. Windex smelling, pretty much anything you can think of, really, someone has created a fragrance of it. In some instances, we're even beating nature herself. For example, you know those roses that you get at the florist? And then people go, these smell beautiful. But actually, those roses are not bred to smell good. They're so specialized for good looks, longevity, and disease resistance that they've practically altogether lost their smell.
Really?
So often what the florist will do is add an additional scent to the flower post-picking.
Wouldn't that kill the flower, though? I feel like you'd have to get, like, something really special to not murder the flower by doing that.
A synthetic rose perfume is used because it lasts longer and doesn't dry out the flower.
You know what this reminds me of?
We're just that good. And
It reminds me of, like, Disney, how, like, the vanilla smell, they put, like, an ice cream smell through the vents so that you want to, like, go into their stores. And it's not actually the smell of the ice cream in the store itself. It's, like, an artificial vanilla smell that they pump through the vents so that you smell it. That's what this reminds me of.
What's the future for perfumes? Well, I don't know. But what I do know is it's going to involve some comedy gold. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. My wife asked me for Chanel No. 5, and I was like, not right now. I'm watching the football. You know, on the television.
Stop!
You know what? I am going to say it. If it's good enough for Kramer, it's good enough for me. Ad time. This Christmas, she works in the big city.
Busy professional, my career, this and that.
But she's going home for Christmas.
Small towns are the worst. I'm a big city career gal.
Wow.
Oh my God, are you okay?
I am now. And she's
Jesus.
about to learn the meaning of Nordmas. The most VPNist time of year with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
I was gonna say, this is a lot of effort put into his ad.
Soon I will have installed public Wi-Fi in all of Nordville, and
He
once
really
they
went
use
all
it,
out. I can
their
respect
private
it.
data will be exposed. Governor Craven's got this town by the baubles, and I can't believe that big city company you work for works with him.
Come on, we have to put up the Nordmas lights for the big Nordmas festival.
What?
Not the basic Christmas
Let's go
movie.
ice skating. What?
He's so cute, but I'm a city girl.
Girl, you sound like you're in love.
I thought I knew what Nordmas meant, but it means nothing without you.
It's like the end of March.
It's
like
always
the end
Nordmas
of
time of year with Nord's huge discount on a 2-year plan. Use the URL, nordvpn.com/internet story for a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN in town.
Now I love small town, and I'm in love with Nordman, but I can't leave behind big city Korea.
True love and a really good VPN don't come around too much.
He has a whole
You gotta
cinematic
take a
universe of
chance.
sponsor mascots.
Boss,
True.
I don't care about making partner at the firm anymore.
He made a
I
whole
found my
skit for
new
it.
home.
Big public Wi-Fi is spreading across the city. Nordmas will be ruined. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
Need a hand?
Oh,
How
man.
are we gonna stop him, Nordman?
With this Nord-themed brick.
Oh.
I
love
love you,
Nord-themed bricks.
And I love you, big city woman. Let's go home and watch the international Netflix catalog. It's a Nordmas miracle.
Oh, man.
Go to
That's the best, ad
nordvpn.com/internet
I've
story
seen in a
to get a
while.
huge deal on a 2-year plan plus 4 bonus Nordmas months.
That was great.
Ad's over. You know, that ad makes me think about the time I nearly had a wife. Feels like a lifetime ago now. I was in Japan, living the digital nomad lifestyle. I had
boy.
a startup selling seashells down by the seashore.
Okay.
But I broke the one rule of being a digital nomad. I got mad.
Oh, I thought it was
Digitally.
going outside.
And that's when I saw her. It was love at first
Oh,
sight.
what the?
I remember her laugh,
Where is this going?
her touch. Every morning, breakfast in bed. But the truth was, I had no money. Well, truth is, I'm the guy who invented the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh.
Once I became a gajillionaire, I went back to that beach to try and find her. But instead, I hit her with my boat.
Oh.
We never found her body,
What the?
but she had a secret. One she took to her grave that I was sworn not to tell. She's not around, so... Dude, she was a mermaid! Come
What
on,
the hell
champ,
is
we're
going on? I
going
have
to
no idea.
Japan. And here's where it all begins. In the year 2022.
I got
It's a
nothing.
Tuesday, probably. And local folklore researcher Hiroshi Kinoshita is looking up some fantastical animals in the National Yokai Dictionary.
Hey, yo.
It's like the bestiary from Witcher, right? And
Yep.
he comes across a photo negative of a mermaid mummy. Oh my god, he says in Japanese. Upon
Oh
seeing the
my
mermaid,
God.
he knows that he must track it down. He must form a team. Researchers,
I gotta find one of
assemble.
those.
So he gets together the best damn
Mermaid
crew that he
and
can from the
mummy?
University of Science and Arts at the Okayama Prefecture.
Let's go.
And he plans to track down the mermaid mummy, wherever it has escaped to.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't take him long to figure out that it's being held at the Inuin Temple in Asakuchi. You know the one. So he struts up to the sacred building.
That's
and there at the back of
interesting
the temple
name.
is a fireproof safe.
Going right to
And inside of
Askuchi.
that is an...
Much. Thank you.
And he plans to track down the mermaid mummy, wherever it has escaped to. Now, it doesn't take him long to figure out that it's being held at the Inuin Temple in Asakuchi. You know the one. So he struts up to the sacred building. And there at the back of the temple is a fireproof safe. And inside
Okay.
of that is an old wooden box, and inside the old wooden box was the mermaid. We found it! We found a real one! But where did it come from? Well, alongside the mermaid was a note that dated back from 1903, and it said, "A dried human fish, aka Ningyo, was caught almost 300 years ago over in the seas of Tosa. It was then dried out and taken to Osaka.
I see.
And from there, it was passed around to many different people until it arrived at the temple." Now, the Ningyo have an important history in Japan, and sightings of these half-fish, half-human creatures have cropped up all across the country.
Oh.
Kinoshita himself had personally tracked down 13 of them, all across Japan, usually kept in museums and temples.
Man, these fish people are just popping up out of nowhere. This must be the spawning location for all of them.
However, what you might not know is that traditionally they have been associated with bad omens. Aye. And everyone knows the infamous tale of Yao Bikuni.
So
But
they
I'll
got
recite it to you just in case.
superstition
So
around
the
this
story
too.
is that one day a poor fisherman catches the biggest fish of his life.
All right.
It was a strange-looking fish, and its head was almost human-like.
Oh.
But he brought the fish home and invited all of his friends and family to come over for a feast to celebrate his largest catch.
This was his first mistake. If I caught a fish and it had a head like a human, I would put it right back. I'd be like, yeah, nope. I don't think that's a good thing. I wouldn't just be like, kind of looks like somebody I met yesterday. Looks like a fish, but also looks like a person. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat it at home. Like,
No, he's got his arms stretched out like this. He's like, it was this big. No, it was this big. I swear, it was this big. During dinner, one of the guests sneaks into the kitchen to see just how big it was. This big? I can't believe it. And he discovers that it is actually a Ningyo. Oh no, he says in perfect Japanese. Now he quickly warns the other guests, don't eat it. And he warns them just in time. Teishi! They've got their fork like right up to their mouth. Teishi eating that. Teishi, don't do it. They throw all their food away.
don't eat the fish!
Let's just have some rice and drink the night away. Okay, so they do. And they have a lovely evening. However, one very dishonorable guest decided to sneak a bit of the meat out of the trash and put it in his pocket.
What? Why is the man fishing in the trash? That's
He
gross.
then goes home drunk and falls asleep. He
With
didn't
the
eat.
fish in his pocket? That guy's smelly.
But when he woke up the next morning, he checks his pockets and... no! The delicious fish piece is gone. Turns out,
What the
in the
heck?
night, his daughter had been rummaging around in his pockets looking for treasure, and she found the meat from his pocket. And she was such a greedy guts that she decided to eat it then and there. The father was terrified for his daughter. But she didn't seem to be sick. Do you feel weird at all? And shaking her. He decided not to tell her anything. Maybe
Why would you rummage in someone's pockets? And also, outside of that, if you did rummage in someone's pockets, if there was the old, wet trash can fish, would you be like, bon appetit? I gotta eat that. Like,
it'll all be okay. However, from that day forward, the daughter never aged. That's right.
pocket
She
fish meat.
remained a young adult forever.
Pocket fish meat from the trash can is the secret to immortality.
She eventually went on to marry. But as her husband got older, she stayed the same age. Eventually her father got old and died. And soon enough, did her husband too. Everyone she ever knew was getting older and dying, but she remained the same age. She was immortal. Eventually, at age 120, she decided to shave her head and become a Japanese nun. She traveled the country, planting trees as she went. And she did this for 800 years. But eventually, she grew tired. You know what?
Okay.
I'm tired of living. She entered a cave in her hometown of Obama.
Oh.
and she was determined to never come out again. She begged
This is
and
so
prayed
weird.
for the curse to end, but it never did. She sat in that cave for so long that she turned to stone.
You eat Taco Bell and you go right to bed. This is what kind of dreams you have.
And today, at the Kuinji Temple in Obama, remains the cave that Yao Bakuni entered. People have been into that cave to check whether she's still in there, but nothing was found.
So where's the lady who ate the pocket fish?
However, a stone statue of her resides at the entrance. And
They
colloquially...
made a statue for this woman who just... Literally her entire lore is she stole a pocket fish meat that was from a trash can, ate it, lived a while, became a nun, cried about it, and went into a tunnel.
It is called the Barack Obama. So we're back with
Stop!
Hiroshi. He asked the Inuan temple if he could borrow the Nino. Look, let me do a little CT scan on it, right? And they agreed. Hiroshi hands the Nino to a team of scientists, and they get to work. They do their tests. Beep, beep, boop. Control plus scan on the keyboard, and here are the results.
Oh boy, what are they gonna find?
It's stage 4 cancer. I'm so sorry.
No, but really,
Yeah.
turns out the Nino dates back to the 1800s.
Okay.
The note that said it was from the 1700s was wrong.
Oh, they be lying. Let me guess. This entire thing is a hoax. And here I thought it was real.
Its body is made from cloth and cotton, wrapped in pufferfish skin.
What
the
the-
tail was made from a croaker. I don't know what that is. Can we show that on the
fish?
screen?
It says a croaker is a type of fish. The mouth is from another unknown type of fish. The hair is from an unknown mammal. So they're just making, dead mummy Pokemons.
The mouth of a different fish and the hair of a mammal. And they can see that there's a metal nail in its back. Oh my god, it's invented tools. The forensic analysis and the construction materials in its back did cast some doubt over its authenticity. But you gotta believe in something, damn it.
Nope.
As promised, the Nino was returned to the Inuan temple, where it still lives today.
So
And where-
somebody made a mummified Pokemon and was like, wow, I found this animal. It must be extinct. That's crazy. I found this real life demon outside. As they duct tape and hot glue all these animal parts together. Wow, I can't believe this combination of things exists. It's crazy.
Oh, where did my mermaid go? It's her! You're back!
Oh my lord.
You know what? I kind of missed you. And
Yeah, trust me, bro, it's
what
real.
the hell is that?
Daddy.
You know what? I never
Oh,
did
boy.
find her again. I think these things are a big myth.
I can't. My funny bone, it just
We're
doesn't
here on the
activate for
ancient streets
weird
of Cairo,
humor
and
like
there
that.
is
Sorry,
our
Chet.
destination. In these triangles, the greatest luxury that all the elites crave.
Fair
Oh,
response.
God. No, not that. The second most thing that mummies.
Oh.
You can find them in these tombs, and there's only ever one dude guarding them. But before we take, we must understand. Mummification started over 5,000 years ago.
Oh, boy.
And they were first discovered by the Europeans in the 15th century. But the legend goes the locals knew about them even earlier than that. It's an elaborate process, but essentially, you're drying the person out,
Yep.
turning them into a human salami. All right, so when the Europeans found all these mummies, what do you think they did?
Oh boy.
Put it in a museum,
Yep.
right? Wrong.
No?
They used these mothers for everything, and
Oh,
everybody
no.
wanted them. What do you mean they used them for everything? Well, fancy people would take whole mummies and show them off to their friends at fancy dinners to
What
really
in
show off.
the world? What? Why are you just eating around a dead person? What the? One of the most ghoulish and lesser known ways upper class Victorians got their creepy kicks was by hosting and attending mummy unrolling parties? Well, what the heck? The host would buy a mummy from an auction or a specialist dealer with contacts in Egypt when the invites would go out. So it's like unwrapping a present, but the present is a dead person, like a corpse. That is, rich people are they're messed up. That's messed up. The fact that this was normal.
Off the owner's wealth, they would sometimes unwrap them too.
Please don't
They were
unwrap
used as
the corpse
paint.
present. Please
They call
don't.
this mummy brown, by the way.
Ew.
They were used as fertilizer.
Oh man, talk about supercharging your soil.
They were even consumed.
No.
No, not like this.
Okay.
By grinding them up into powder
No,
and
that's not
taking
better.
them like a herbal supplement.
No.
Which they called mumia. But with such high demand for your mum, after a while, they began to run out of stock. Uh-oh. They were becoming rarer and rarer to find. They were being gobbled off the face
Oh
of the
my
earth.
god, I didn't
So
even
the
know this ever happened. I didn't know this was ever a thing. What the hell?
Authorities passed a bunch of laws to protect mummies from becoming altogether extinct. These are the last two of their species, and they're both male, but they won't mate. No. But the mummy is much
Oh,
like
my
the
lord.
Tasmanian tiger. Every once in a while, one will just kinda show up and prove that they're not altogether extinct.
What the heck?
The year 2013. The
Where is this
location,
going?
Diefels in northwest Germany.
I feel like
We
I
are
don't
at
want to
the
know, but I can't
Kettler
look away.
household, owned by grandfather Kettler, who is now dead. But he had a son, Lutz Kettler, and Lutz Kettler also had a son, Alexander Kettler, and they are both there at the house.
Oh, what's
After
gonna
a rainy
happen?
day, there was a leak in the roof. So 10-year-old Kettler gets up into the attic to explore. You know, have a bit of a look around. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Old
Okay.
antiques, photographs, and, some old roof tiles. Those will be useful. So he goes over to the roof tiles and, behind them is something strange. A box. A mystery box. Now, the kid is smart and he's seen Jumanji, so he knows not to touch the box and instead go tell his dad.
That's what
Now,
I would
the
do
dad
too. I'm not
drags
opening
the
it.
box into the center of the room.
Oh, hell no.
And he
I'm
opens
moving
it.
out. Move out. Time to leave. Time to leave the house.
And inside, a smaller box. But it's very curious because it is covered in hieroglyphs. So Lutz crosses his fingers, hoping nothing supernatural will happen. And
What?
he opens the inner box.
Yeah, typical horror
Inside
movie.
is a mummy.
No, I'd piss
oh
myself.
my god.
Time to
But there's
leave.
more. There's also two smaller boxes. One contained a death mask, and the other a canopic jar. All right, so he might have a dead body in the house now.
Yeah, I'd leave.
So naturally, he calls the authorities. The police show up and ask some questions. Lutz then explains a little bit of backstory. He remembers that in the 1950s, his father went to Derna in Libya. There, he acquired a chest and had it shipped back home. He remembers a conversation about it, but
So-
grandfather Kettler
Did his whole family just live there for a really long time? Did his parents own this house and then he has this house?
insisted that it was a replica. Das ist ein Replika, son. Not a real mummified person. Now, at this point, the police did not think it was a real body, but it was worth getting it scanned just in case. So he loaded it up in his station wagon, and off he went to the Berlin Archaeological Institute. Now, they agreed to do a scan, and so they're fiddling with buttons and dials and stuff.
Oh, boy.
And it's fake, right? It's fake? Well, here's where things get a little more dramatic. Results
Oh boy.
inconclusive. There is a fully formed skeleton here. Now, that is unusual for a fake. Often a fake will just be shaped like a person, then filled with
Oh.
sticks and cloth and rubbish.
Yeah.
However, it got even stranger. They found that all of the bones were wrapped in some sort of metal plating or foil.
What the heck?
Next, they looked at the skull, and that's where things were the most odd. It was very realistic. Its
Oh,
teeth
no.
had roots. Its form was more intricate than the typical fake. It also had a laurel, but even more notably, there was an arrowhead lodged in the eye socket.
That's pretty metal.
Now that is very unusual for a fake.
That's
Hold on, I
pretty
got
metal.
more evidence to do. So they're doing more tests and stuff. All right, we've carbon tested the linen wraps. What's the verdict? Well, those are from the 1900s. Now the plot is thickening. We have a supposed fake mummy, but with a very realistic skull, perhaps murdered by an arrow to the head
Yeah.
and bandages that date to the modern day. That presents a new problem because
Yeah.
it's not unheard of for people to do a murder in the modern day and then cover things up by disguising the body as an ancient
Oh my
artifact.
god, really?
For example, in
I guess I didn't know that. You know, true crime doesn't talk about that. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, it makes total sense. Like, hearing it exists, I'm not surprised. But, like, I didn't even think about this. Like, oh, that's so creepy.
In the year 2000, there was a man who claimed he found the mummy of an ancient Persian princess, the daughter of Xerxes. However, when they examined the body, they found it was, in fact, a potential murder victim from 1996
Oh my
who died
God.
from bludgeoning. All right, so the police now actually have to get involved, and it's about to get even more complicated. So they confiscate the body and they do their own tests.
This is
and the
crazy.
results this
Ew.
time say, no,
Stop.
this thing is 2,000 years old. It's not fake at all. It's ancient. What? So eventually the experts all get together and go, okay, this is dumb. Let's take it to Eppendorf University and have it properly tested, and not just tested, crack the thing open like a delicious Kinder Surprise.
Ew.
So this new set of experts gets to work, and when they open up the mummy... All right, remember how we said that the bones were covered in a special type of foil or metal plating?
Oh god.
Well, it turns out the scientists didn't quite get that right. Instead, the bones were sprayed with a metallic chemical that prevented X-rays from going through.
Oh my
The bones
God.
were made from plastic.
Bro,
Or
so
at least-
this was the most elaborate gotcha in the attic anyone's ever had? Was this a prank in the 1990s that was supposed to hit somebody like a generation or two later? This is Grandpa doing like a prank?
At least the body was. Turns out the skull is real. Yes, a real skull, and not from an ancient mummy, but from a 20th century man.
What the hell?
However, it was not a murder. This skull is from a cadaver, and it was medically prepared for educational purposes.
Okay, so nobody was
And what
killed.
about that arrowhead? Well, it turns out that that's from a children's toy. Someone just popped that in the eye socket as
Oh.
a joke.
Oh my
So
god.
finally, the mystery was solved. It's just a plastic skeleton with a real dead guy's head put on it. Wait, how does that solve the mystery?
Yeah, what the heck? I have more questions.
Anyway, so Lutz was satisfied that the whole thing was fake and not a murder victim. Oh, let's put that back in the attic,
That's
he
still
said
so
very
creepy.
Germanly. But then, eine Bitte? Was ist das? He says. Another box?
Oh no.
The Book of the Dead? Well, that sounds like a fun read. So Lutz starts reading the ancient Egyptian out loud. Anaxunamun,
Oh boy.
Imhotep, Brendan Fraser. And what happened next will shock you and make for a very good thumbnail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey there, champ.
I still can't believe that. Like, at least it wasn't a murder at the end of the day, right? But that was the most elaborate prank. That was 5 head levels of pranking to your next of kin.
You're probably wondering why I'm out here on this park bench. Sometimes I just come to see the autumn leaves. Winter will be here soon.
Yeah, it was a
Dust in the
troll
wind.
before the internet existed.
Truth is, sport, I have a highly contagious respiratory disease. I won't be around much longer. Dust in the wind. I'm like Willy Wonka from that movie. And you're like that ugly kid from the Willy Wonka movie who gets all his stuff. Or the Oompa Loompa. I don't know. I haven't seen it. The point is you're so close to being fancy. I can feel it. There's just one
right.
lesson left to learn.
Yeah, this entire video was like an ADHD tangent.
Anyway, speaking of ancient Egypt, here's this ancient Egyptian gun. Franz Ferdinand, what are you doing here? Of course, he's not the real Franz Ferdinand. He's a mummy. Now, the thing about the ancient Egyptian gun is that it's very Uh-oh. I hit your congratulations for being somewhat fancy cake. Come on, Mr. Ferdinand. We've got to clean this up before the Park Services Commission hears about this, and they make another complaint. Right, we're almost done with the series, and then it's back to the usual content. So in case you missed it, there's also drinking on Incognito. A new story mode.
Some of his humor that he has in between, some of his little segments that are him talking, I feel like they're not as funny as when he's actually talking about something. I don't know if that's rude of me.
Up next week. And
I
if
don't
you
know
like
if I'm
fancy,
missing my funny
that's great.
bone.
But if you don't like fancy, don't worry, it's not forever.
The video was really good though.
Ooh.
But yeah, he was
Don't
definitely
forget
off on a lot of
NordVPN.
tangents.
NordVPN.com/Internet Story. Huge deal on a 2-year plan. You'll love it.
That was crazy. Mua, 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 mua.